Hey everybody, Ramey here. I'm just getting set up. Just give me a minute and I'll be live with you in a sec. Well, I'm live now, but I'm getting set up, making sure things are working today. Okay. Ooh, I see my sound. And this is why I set up, because I've got to test everything. Let's see. I think sound is better now. Nope, that's too high. See, you want to know why I test? I got to make sure things are working. So let me just do a little sound test here. It's too high. See, you want to know why I test? I got to make sure things are working. Oh, let's see. There we go. Okay, so that should be good sound-wise. Looks like I am all set. Okay, let me do that. Okay, looks like we're good to go. Just pull all this final stuff up here. Boom, and we're good. Let me just say hello in chat. All right, perfect. And if you would like to chat, obviously you're more than welcome to say anything you want to, but we are good to go. Okay, so a few things I want to talk about today, and some of them are off topic completely, but just things that I feel like talking about today. So let's talk about some of the more important stuff, I guess, first, and then I'll get to some of the things that really have nothing to do with, learning design and that kind of stuff. Okay, so, and hey, I see some people coming on saying hello. All right, so, first thing. So in the background behind me, what you see is a little flyer. So the UNCW Esports Club, we are having our second tournament this Saturday. Really excited about that. Students are doing a lot of work to get it going, make sure it's going to be running and working well. But we're really excited. We're going to be playing Super Smash Brothers and Dragon Ball 2 Fighters. It'll be fun. Should be good. I'm curious to see how many people come because you just never know. Like our last tournament, the day before the tournament, we had like 5 people signed up, and then we had 70 people come and participate in the tournament. That's not even how many people were just there. We had like 70 people just participate. So you have no idea, like, are you going to get 10 people or are you going to get like 100? We have no idea. So we're still like playing around because this is our second tournament. Lots of cool stuff planned for that, though, and I'm really excited. I'm bringing both of my kids. I'm really curious to see how my 6-year-old does. That'll be kind of interesting to see if he enjoys it or he gets bored and stuff. But it's a try. It's at 4 p.m., so it's not late, so it should be okay. Their bedtime's not till 8, so, and it's a Saturday, so they should be good. Okay, super excited about that. Good stuff. All right, let's see. What else do I would like to talk about today? So one of the things I've been playing around with is, so when I've been gaming, like when you play video games, so they just released the new season of Fortnite. I explained this the other day that me and my son are playing it. And so he's playing it on the Nintendo. So you can play these kind of games on multiple different systems. So you can play like this game in particular, you can play on the Nintendo Switch. You can play on the computer. You can play on an Xbox. You can play on a PlayStation. So you can play on a bunch of different things, and you can all play together. So my son's playing on the Switch, and I'm playing on my PC. So I'm a PC gamer, right? The interesting thing about me, though, is that I spent so many years playing Halo using an Xbox controller like this that I have so many excuse me, I have so many problems playing an actual like shooter type game using my mouse and keyboard. It's so difficult. It's funny because I use the mouse and keyboard to play like other games like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, never had an issue. But as soon as I try to play a shooter like a Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, or when the new Halo comes out on the PC, I start running into all these problems. Like it's like my coordination. I go to the mouse and keyboard, and like I can't aim. Like my coordination is just gone. It's really strange. And the thing is, like, I kind of want to blame the game, but then a lot of those games allow you to use this kind of controller, an Xbox controller. As soon as I go to that Xbox controller, all my problems are all of a sudden solved, which is really, really, really interesting. So I know it's not the game. I know it's me. It's my fault. So I'm the one who is messing it up. I'm just not good enough, I guess. I just don't have the hand-eye coordination on a PC. So it tells me two things. I can, A, just use this controller. But the thing is, I know that the professionals, use the mouse and keyboard, and they use it for a reason. They use it because it's quicker and it's better. So what does that mean? That means that my hand coordination is not great. It also means, so here's the thing about this. This is a skill. Like, you don't just start off like really good at these games. You have to practice. And since I'm not used to using the mouse and keyboard for shooters, I need to sit there and play for endless amount of hours and get my hand-eye coordination really good with the mouse and keyboard. It's going to be a big pain, but I'm determined to do it. So I'm not going to go to this. I'm going to try to do Fortnite and Apex Legends using the mouse and keyboard instead of this controller. And hopefully, by the time the new Halo comes out, I'm doing well on the mouse and keyboard for Halo, because that'll be a big test. Because Halo, I'm embarrassed to say how many hours I have into it, how many games I played with a controller like this, but it's a lot. It's way a lot. And it took me a long time to get good with this controller, so now I got to get good with the mouse and keyboard. So it's interesting when you think about like moving, like we're so used to a certain type of media or like hardware that when we transfer to the next piece of hardware, it's like, whoa, I have problems using this. So that's my experience with a mouse and keyboard versus a game controller. But this doesn't just apply to games whatsoever. This applies to everything in our life. So, sometimes like I'll tell people, they'll be like, I only use a Mac or I only use a PC and I hate the other. And the reason they hate the other isn't because the other is bad. It's because when you if you're used to a PC and you try to use a Mac, there's differences. And since you're not used to those differences, people don't like them. People are very resistant to change. We do not like it. It's like I'm used to driving my car. So when I go drive like my wife's car, I'm like, how do you do anything? And it's like, I hate this. And it's not that I hate it. It's just that maybe if I spent 2 weeks learning her car, I would actually really like it. But we're very resistant to change at first. It's kind of like when everyone likes like a new email system or whatever. They're always, when it first comes out, they're like, I hate this. But then they get used to it and they all of a sudden like it. And I mean, my parents were like that about cell phones. When I got my first cell phone, this was like 1997. My parents hated it. The only reason we got it, but we ended up getting 5 of them because we got one for all my whole family, because it was cheaper to pay for the cell phone, because it was like free nights and weekends. And I was away at college. It was my first year at college, second year at college, something like that. And it was cheaper than buying the calling cards. To actually pay for all 5 of us to have cell phones was cheaper than the calling cards. My parents like hated cell phones. They thought it was like a terrible idea that I was like, we should get these. And then when we had them and they used them for a little bit, they actually loved it. And obviously, in fact, people used to say to me, why do you have a cell phone? Like, what do you need that thing for? So when we're not used to a technology, we don't always see the potential of what it can do and how much better it is. And sometimes it's really difficult for us to even learn how to use it. So I think that's a really interesting, like concept and something to think about. So like, not everyone sees that potential of the technology. I can say the same thing with virtual reality. Like there's people who are just like, whatever, but maybe they've never used it before. So there's just an endless amount of examples. So, it takes out some people to figure out that the technology is good, but sometimes the technology does have a learning curve. And if that learning curve is steep, people might give up and get really frustrated. And I think that's me with a mouse and keyboard. It's really tough. But I'm going to stick through it because I realize it, so I can't just give up. I gotta stick through it. Okay, and I did talk the other day, reminding me of talking about Fortnite, that I talked about what Fortnite did, how they shut their whole system off for like 2 days and no one really knew what was going on. And then they brought it back to introduce their new season. Really creative. I'll give them some credit. Really like risky move on their part to do something like that, because you have people going and playing other games. But they did get a lot of hype for this, so whatever. Totally worth it. I mean, they're making $300 million a month, so like it's kind of crazy. So anyway, all right. Something else I want to talk about. So like, I get a lot of comments on my YouTube. So first thing, let's talk about my YouTube channel. So I have 2,500 subscribers. So that's awesome. Hit the 2,500 mark today. So cool. Thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. It's really nice. It's awesome that I have anyone who wants to listen and watches all my different kinds of videos that I create. Because I know some of them are so different from one another. They usually all involve like tech and learning and gaming and stuff, but they're vastly different. Like I talk about like watches and statistics and stuff of like running with your watch versus like how to like use your microphone. Like they're such different topics in some ways. But thank you guys for subscribing. 2,500. That's just awesome. I'm really happy to see that. Because I love doing this. I love making all my videos, and I think it's just a lot of fun. And that actually brings me to 2 topics. So let me start with the first one about the videos. So I get a lot of comments on my videos, which is awesome. I always read the comments. I check every day. I try to respond to ones that are possible to respond to. Sometimes people are asking about like, I still have some videos on like software that's old that people are still using that might be almost like 7 years old now, because I have some videos from like 2012, 2011 up there. Oh no, I probably have some videos from like 2008 and 9 even on my channel. So I have some old videos. So some people ask questions about like software that is not in existence anymore. Like I don't have it, and I haven't used it for like 10 years because it's like, how do you do this in Flash CS5? And I'm like, oh man, Flash, we don't even have it anymore. It's now Adobe Animate, but I don't remember how to do this in Flash CS5 because I haven't really used Flash in like 5 or 6 years, let alone use that version of it. So sometimes I get like some specific questions that I can't answer, but in general, I try to respond to everybody's question. And it's great. Please leave comments. I love it. It's great to interact with people. What I don't like in comments is when you get a lot of spam comments on YouTube. It's something I've noticed. Now, YouTube does a really good job of trying to prevent spam. Like they block comments, and it does a pretty good job, but sometimes like I get real comments that are good and they just assumed it was spam because their AI can't recognize what it is. They don't know what I'm talking about, and they don't know what the person who typed it was talking about, so their AI can't match it up. But one of the things I wish they would block are people advertising themselves in the comments. So like what happens is someone will say, and I got one of these today and that's why I haven't thought about it. So someone will say like, great video, and really giving me a comment, but then the whole point is that they're really trying to advertise like their website. That's a great point. To read more about it, go see my website. But it's totally like they're advertising for themselves on my comment, and they leave this link and this and that. And it's like, I delete those. I don't allow people to post links to other things on my comments unless it's like, oh, they're like bringing something to the conversation. So it's pretty rare that I'll allow it. I mean, I will if I think it's a good link, and it's not like they're not like sponsoring themselves, like advertising for themselves on the comment. You can tell when it's like cheesy. They're like totally, you see like the buy this drug, that kind of stuff obviously gets spam deleted. I don't have to deal with that. But I get some comments and people are really trying to advertise for themselves in the comments. So just pay attention to that and be aware that if you're posting a comment on someone's video, you don't want to post a link because you run the risk of getting deleted. YouTube's trying to stop that stuff too. I just delete them, so I don't deal with it. If I see a link, automatic deletion no matter what really the comment is, unless I really think it was contributing. So pay attention to that. All right. So, I said there was another thing about YouTube, and now it's escaped my mind. Adding links to YouTube comments. Yeah, that was it. That was my big... Oh, yeah, and the 2,500 subscribers. Those are my two big things. I do remember what it was. It was my transition into my next thing. It's funny because I have everything written down that I always want to talk about for the day, and I still, like, I'm reading it, and I'm like, do I want to talk about that or not? Maybe my mood has changed, and I don't feel like talking about everything again. Okay, so next thing. So it's kind of funny. So first of all, I read this article the other day, and I read, if you think you're a weird person, that means you're probably 100% normal. And I always see a lot of people say that they're weird. Like people on YouTube, or I mean on Facebook or MySpace, like when they describe, and I say MySpace because I'm thinking about like when people didn't really know, when you had like a profile. We don't really have that anymore on Facebook. It's more of like, you do have an about me section, but I never read it, and I don't even think people use it. But like when MySpace was a thing and Friendster, I'm going back to like 2006, and Facebook first started, like the big thing was your profile. People would write about me. And so many people at the beginning of their, like in their statement would write like, I'm the weirdest person, or I'm a very weird person. I'd see that a lot. And I just saw this article the other day, like on Firefox, they always have like interesting articles. And, one of the articles was that if you think you're a weird person, you're probably 100% normal. That's a sign that you're normal. So I think everyone thinks they're unique and everything. And we are. We're all unique in our own ways. But we're also all very similar in many more ways. And I always think about myself, like I reflect on myself. And sometimes I ask my wife and I'll ask other people, like, do you think I'm a weird person, or do you think I'm like strange or unusual, or I do weird things? And the funny thing is, everyone says yes. They all say, yeah, you actually are kind of weird. Am I really that weird? I don't know. I will say that I don't know. I just do. I just do stuff. I do my own thing. I do what I like to do. I try to make things fun and entertaining. And I don't know. I don't think I'm weird. I assume I'm normal, but apparently to other people I'm not. So leading into that discussion, which I think is rather interesting. So it's just interesting that if you believe you're a weird person, you're probably not weird. You're probably normal. And for some odd reason, when I ask people if I'm weird, they all say yes. I don't know what that means. I don't know why I'm considered a weird person, but apparently I am. I don't know if it's like the way I look. I don't think it's that. I think it's like the things I do, and I'm just a little strange. I always kind of felt like I probably was I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid, so apparently there was probably like some other things going on with me. Maybe that's why I'm strange. I don't know. I don't think I'm strange. I do think maybe I'm weird, so maybe that means I'm normal, but I do feel like I'm mostly normal. And they said if people think they're weird, they're normal. So maybe I'm actually strange because I think I'm pretty normal. I don't know. Anyway, so that kind of leads me into my next topic, where I start. So I'm at the gym today, and there's two more things I want to talk about. So I'm at the gym today, and I think like, so I feel like I'm like watching Seinfeld when I even say this, like I'm watching him do a stand-up routine. But I'm at the gym, and like and I'm not trying to be funny, but I can't actually figure this out. So every time I walk into the gym, the person behind the desk who first of all, now every time you walk into the gym, the person is paid to say, "Hey, how you doing?" And when you're leaving, they say, "Hey, have a nice day." And it's a nice gesture. I get it, but it also is like I'm going to the gym at sometimes like 6 a.m, and the last thing I feel like doing is acknowledging another human. Like I'm like just trying to like survive to knowing that I have to like run or lift or something like that, and like, oh my gosh, I have to say something to them every time. And I can tell they're doing it as part of their job. They're totally not interested. Um, and it's like this forced, weird interaction that I just don't understand. Um, Maybe that does make me weird that I'm not like the person who likes that. I don't know. But it's just like I know every time, and I actually like start to get anxiety about it. It's like every time I go to the gym, as I'm walking in, I know I like have to say hi to this person. And then when I'm leaving the gym, I know I have to like say have a nice day. They're gonna be like glad you hope you had a good workout, and I have to be like yeah I did or something, or like I can't just say no I don't know them. Um, it's just a really strange interaction, and it's not the gym. It's everywhere in life. We have all these weird interactions like that, and I wonder like why people are like that. Like why do we have these weird interactions? Um, why do we, you know, maybe we're not friendly enough as people. Maybe I shouldn't be like, how are you doing? Just to hear like, I don't know, like maybe I should be prepared to have a conversation with someone about when I ask them how they're doing, like, and really find out, or hope you had a good workout. And I like explain like whether I really did or not. Like, I don't know if the person cares. And like the funny thing, well, the whole gym thing, it's like, so I've been going to this gym for a few years now. So the first like year I was there, I would get to know all the people behind the counter really well, but then I realized that like they switch every 2 weeks. They keep quitting, I guess, or they get moved or whatever, but they're not there anymore. I assume they're quitting because who wants to be sitting in front of the counter at the gym at like 6 a.m.? Like, it doesn't seem like something, and you have to talk to everyone, so it can't be that fun. At least I wouldn't think it was fun. I'm sure other people do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just because I'm not a morning. Well, I am a morning person. I just don't like talking in the morning. But like I the problem was after the first like 6 months, I realized I'd gotten to know like 30 people. Like I was remembering their names. They were getting to know me, and it was like, okay, I can't keep doing this like every 2 weeks. So I just stopped doing that. But it's curious about like all these interactions we have with people, and maybe we don't take advantage of all the interactions we have with people. Maybe there are like all these interactions we could be having with people like at the gym or somewhere else that we don't. And that's like it. I'm at the gym and it's like I see the same people there every time I'm there, but like I don't really know them. And maybe I should be talking to these people. Maybe they have something to offer that I don't know, and I have something to offer to them. But it's interesting how humans exist and coexist with one another in like public spaces. It's very fascinating. So we're like a shy species, and yet we're not. Sometimes it just takes talking to someone. But then there's people like me who you talk to me, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. Not that I don't want to talk to the person, I just don't want to talk to anyone, any person. Very, very, very interesting. I don't know why I really chose to talk about this today, but it was something I've been thinking about when I was at the gym I was on the bike today, and I was just thinking away, just noticing people there that I see every day that I don't really know, don't really talk to. And I just think like, it's really interesting that we see these people. I coexist with these people. I see them every day, and yet I don't really know who they are. I don't know their names. I don't talk to them. We pass each other in the gym every day, and it's an unusual interaction. Just weird how we coexist with other people. All right, so final thing I wanted to talk about today, and I know all this stuff's like off topic somewhat, but whatever. I'm going to talk about it anyway. So I feel very stressed about work over the last, just this semester. And it's probably every semester to an extent. But, you know, one of the things I'm bad at is my work-life balance. And it's because I work from home so much. So what that does is it has made me, I don't know, have like a pretty bad work-life balance because it's so easy to do work from home, and I work from home. So it's like whenever I'm home, I feel like I should be in my office and I should be working. So it's tough to get away from that. But man, my workload recently is just craziness. It's like meeting after meeting after meeting, so many meetings, and like I'm trying to find time to do work. I'm going in the office. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm involved in a lot of stuff. I'm also writing a few new programs. I'm also a program coordinator. Also, I'm teaching class. It's like so much. And it's funny. And the reason I say this is because I realize my job is really busy. But like I went to schedule a meeting with my dean for this week, and on his calendar, Every single second of every single day was taken up with a meeting. Every single second of every single day was taken up with a meeting. It took me a week and a half to get a meeting because every single second of every day was taken up. And it wasn't like, like something's on my calendar, like I'll mark like busy or something like that. There was none of those. It was like meeting with this person, like every second of every day. And I think, oh my goodness, now that's a crazy job. That's all meeting. Your whole entire week, you just have meetings from Monday, 8 a.m. until Friday, 5 p.m. You are in meetings that whole entire time, except basically when you're eating and sleeping. And some of the meals, you're in a meeting too. That is craziness. And I just think, like, have we overdone the meeting thing? Have we overdone the workload thing? Like, at what point, like, where did we really, I know these all have evolved over time, but, like, the workload and workday of people, like, we came up with the 40-hour work week as, like, this average or something, but, like, I really wonder, like, how many of us adhere or follow that, and do we take enough time off to mentally be happy and do other things? And why are we in this society where it's not okay to want to do that? Now, there are jobs that really encourage that, but I still feel like in general, it's like you're not looked upon as like a hard worker if you are all about taking time off and doing things you enjoy. So it's an interesting way that we really look at things. And I'm all about like doing things I love and taking time off and having fun and spending time with my kids and stuff like that. So like, but I'm also really about like being on task and having goals and making sure I'm accomplishing them and working towards them and all that good stuff. So I feel like we need to do a better job as people of making sure that there's a good balance there. As like a manager, people need to make sure that their employees have that good balance. They can't be doing nothing, but they also can't be doing too much. And we also have to make sure people aren't like taking on too much. Like, I feel like I've taken on too much, and it's my fault to an extent, but I've also been asked to do some of this stuff. And it's like, at what point should I be getting more assistance, whether that's financial assistance or people helping, like peer assistance. But it's like, there's got to be a balance, and I need to personally do a better job of finding that for myself. And probably everybody does to an extent. I mean, time management and figuring out what and how you do things is very important. But on a positive note about that is that all the stuff I'm doing is stuff that I do want to do. Like, I'm excited about it. So it's cool. So that's the one good thing about my job is I feel like I work a lot, but I don't feel like I ever work, if that makes sense. Because I enjoy what I do. It's actually a lot of fun. So all the stuff I'm doing, there's like, maybe I don't enjoy like all the work part of it, but like I'm going to enjoy the end result of that. And I'm excited to see it and excited to work and be involved in it. And some of that stuff I'll be talking about in the future, some of the stuff I'm working on, because I kind of can't talk about it right now. Some of it's under wraps. It's still like in development stuff. So that'll be some stuff I talk about in the future. You'll see in the next, like, I'd love to say like next week, but probably in the next few months. But still, there will be some updates. So anyway, that's it for today. Just some stuff on my mind, stuff I wanted to talk about. Hope y'all have a good week. Everything's good. And yeah, that's about it for today. So anyway, have a good day, everybody.